waited restlessly in the covered motor car by the terrible old man's back gate in Ship Street. He was more than ordinarily tender-hearted, and he did not like the hideous screams he had heard in the ancient house just after the hour appointed for the deed. Had he not told his colleagues to be as gentle as possible with the pathetic old sea captain? Chen and Manuel Silva to call on the terrible old man. This old man dwells all alone in a very ancient house in Water Street near the sea, and is reputed to be both exceedingly rich and exceedingly feeble, which forms a situation very attractive to men of the profession of Messrs. Ricci, Chanik, and Silva, for that profession was nothing less dignified than robbery. Inhabitants of Kingsport say and think many things about the terrible old man, which generally keep him safe from the attentions of gentlemen like Mr. Ricci and his colleagues. Despite the almost certain fact that he hides a large fortune somewhere within his musty and venerable abode, he is a very strange person, believed to have been a captain of East India clipper ships in his day, so old that no one can remember when he was young, and so taciturn that few know his real name. There are things which frighten the curious folk who dare to peer in through the dusty panes of the terrible old man's sinister house. These folks say that on a table in a bare room on the ground floor are many peculiar bottles, in each a small piece of lead suspended pendulum-wise from a string. And they say that the terrible old man talks to these bottles, addressing them by such names as Scarface, Long Tom, Spanish Joe, and Mate Ellis, and that when he speaks to a bottle, the little lead pendulum within makes certain definite vibrations as if in answer. Those who have watched the tall, lean, terrible old man in these peculiar conversations do not watch him again. Angelo Ricci, Joe Chanik, and Manuel Silva were criminal-minded, and they saw the terrible old man as merely a helpless graybeard, who could not walk without the aid of his knotted cane, and whose thin, weak hands shook pitifully, although they were really quite sympathetic in their own way for the lonely, unpopular old fellow whom everybody shunned. Business is business, and to a robber whose soul is in his profession, there is a lure and a challenge about a very old and feeble man who has no account at the bank, and who pays for his necessities at the village store with Spanish gold and silver minted 2 centuries ago. Very nervously, Mr. Chanik watched that narrow oaken gate from the covered getaway car. Frequently he consulted his watch and wondered at the delay. Had the old man died before revealing where his treasure was hidden? Had a more thorough search become necessary? Then, he sensed a soft tread or tapping on the walk inside the gate, heard a gentle fumbling at the rusty latch, and saw the narrow, heavy door swing inward. And in the pallid glow of the single dim street lamp, he strained his eyes to see what his colleagues had brought out of that sinister house which loomed so close behind. But when he looked, he did not see what he had expected. For his colleagues were not there at all, but only the terrible old man, leaning quietly on his knotted cane and smiling hideously. Mr. Chanik had never before noticed the color of that man's eyes, and now he saw that they were yellow. Things make considerable excitement in little towns, which is the reason that Kingsport people talked all that spring and summer about the 3 unidentifiable bodies, horribly slashed as with many cutlasses, and horribly mangled as by the tread of many cruel boot heels, which the tide washed in. And some people even spoke of things as trivial as the deserted motor car found in Ship Street, or certain especially inhuman cries, probably of a stray animal or migratory bird heard in the night by wakeful citizens. But in this idle village gossip, the terrible old man took no interest at all. Besides, so ancient a sea captain must have witnessed scores of things much more stirring in the far-off days of his unremembered youth.